Long ago and far away, in enchanted lands across the seas, lived kings and queens, princes and princesses, good fairies and wicked witches, ferocious giants and gentle dwarfs. Their adventures and stories have been told for hundreds of years. Open the pages and listen to the words, and you too can join the magical world of Once Upon a Time.
Cinderella. Once upon a time there was a sad young girl. She was sad because her mother had died and her father had married a cruel, bad-tempered woman. Her wicked stepmother was very jealous of her husband's young daughter because she was a very beautiful girl with the sweetest, kindest nature you could ever imagine. But life was soon to change for the sweet young girl. Just one day after her stepmother married her father, she started to show what a wicked woman she was. She knew that everyone was very fond of her stepdaughter, and she couldn't bear it. It made her own two daughters seem even worse than they were, and most people thought they were horrible anyway. In no time at all, the stepmother was having cross words with her stepdaughter, and she ordered her to do housework day and night to keep her out of the way. She also banished her to the attic room, where she had to sleep on a rough straw bed, while her stepsisters slept on the softest mattresses. Her stepmother gave her so many chores that it was usually well past midnight before she'd finished them all. And when she'd finished, she used to go into the chimney corner and sit among the ashes and cinders. Because of this, the eldest of the wicked stepsisters called her Cinders, while the youngest, who was not quite as cruel, called her Cinderella. Many days passed without event, and Cinderella got used to her life of drudgery, until one day the king's messenger delivered an invitation to 2 summer balls. This invitation threw Cinderella's stepsisters into a frenzy of excitement.
"We've been invited to the palace!"
they both screeched as they waved the invitation under Cinderella's nose. For several weeks the 2 wicked sisters talked non-stop about the clothes they would wear.
"Oh, well, I can't wear that blue. I need new shoes."
Until at last the day of the first ball came, and they finally made their minds up.
"I will wear the pink dress with the lace trimming,"
said the youngest.
"And I will wear my special gown stitched with golden flowers,"
said the eldest. Kind-hearted Cinderella helped the lazy pair by ironing their ball gowns and helping them to get dressed. When they were ready, Cinderella cheerfully waved goodbye to them. But as soon as they were out of sight, she sat down in a dark corner of the room and wept. Then, as if by magic, the corner was filled with light, and Cinderella's fairy godmother appeared. "Why are you crying?" she said. For a few moments, Cinderella couldn't speak to her because she was sobbing so much, and when she finally stopped sobbing, she said, I wish I could go to the ball." "You will go to the ball," said her godmother. "But how?" said Cinderella. "I don't have any clothes to wear, or—" "Hush," said her godmother. "Everything will be all right. But I need a little help from you. Now, let me think. Ah, yes. First, I need a pumpkin. Could you fetch me one from the garden? Cinderella couldn't understand why she wanted a pumpkin, but she trusted her fairy godmother, so she raced into the garden to fetch the largest, ripest pumpkin she could find. Her godmother scooped out the insides of it, leaving nothing but the skin, and then she tapped it with her magic wand. At the touch of her wand, it turned into a glittering golden coach. The coach was so dazzling that Cinderella had to shield her eyes when she looked at it. Next, her godmother went to look at the mousetrap, where she found 6 little mice who were all alive. She tapped each mouse with her wand, and as she did this, each one turned into a beautiful horse with a sleek grey coat. "Now we need a coachman," her godmother said, and as she said this, she noticed a rat scuttling along the floor. "And there he is." She tapped the rat with her wand. Straight away, the little creature turned into a handsome coachman. "We're almost ready. All that we need now are 6 footmen. Please, go into the garden and find me 6 lizards." So Cinderella did as she was told and fetched 6 lizards who were hiding behind the watering can in the garden. As soon as she gave these to her godmother, she turned them into 6 footmen, all dressed in the finest red, green and gold livery. The fairy godmother then turned to Cinderella and said, "Your carriage awaits you." "It's the finest carriage I've ever seen," said Cinderella, "but I can't go as I am, dressed in these rags." So her fairy godmother touched her with her wand, and straight away her rags disappeared, and she was dressed in the most beautiful gown of lace and satin, and on her feet were a pair of glass slippers. Cinderella then stepped gracefully into the coach, but before her godmother ordered the coachman to set off, she said this to Cinderella: "You must promise me that you will leave before midnight. If you stay just 1 second more, the coach will become a pumpkin again, the horses will turn back into mice, and the coachman will become a rat, the footman lizards, and your clothes rags." "I promise I will leave before midnight," said Cinderella, and then the fairy godmother ordered the coachman to drive off.
It's time to turn over to side 2.